contract breakdown. Let's go over some key components to the real estate contract as soon as you receive a ratified contract. Now, this can be from the perspective of a realtor, a transaction coordinator, lender, even buyers and sellers. These are some elements that you want to be aware of when you're reviewing these or even signing them. So first and foremost, you want to verify the property address on the contract. Make sure whoever is pre-filling some of these early terms that they have the correct address. It doesn't happen often, but I definitely have received whole contracts where people don't update their templates, or they hit copy and paste and use a contract from a previous transaction and they just forget to change the address. It happens. And if you catch it and work with people that are kind enough to accept that error, you can just start over and create a fresh one. So always verify the address to make sure before you sign that dotted line, that you're signing for the correct property. That is definitely a key component that I want to start off with. Also, making sure that even when the contract is signed, that they have attached the correct contract as well. So that goes again with verifying the address. So that's definitely one of the most key components, is verifying the address. But after that, you want to verify some of the key players, like the buyers and sellers' names. Make sure that the names that are on title or going to be on title are what is being presented on the contract as well. You can verify that with escrow, with title, things of that nature. You want to make sure both realtors are on there as well, and escrow information. And also keep in mind, full disclosure, no two contracts are exactly the same. They vary from state to state, county to county, city to city, property to property. So just make sure they're also filling out the correct contract, because some cities have a commercial contract, but you don't want someone selling a residential home signing a commercial contract, or vice versa. So that's another key element to this point. But you definitely want to also verify some key terms and dates, like the address, the price, contingency removal dates or waivers, if there's going to be a home warranty ordered or waived. When is the deposit due, or deposits? When are those due? Those are definitely at the very fundamental, basic level. Those are some of the key dates that you want to look out for. Contracts have other terms, so you just have to navigate that to each custom contract that comes in across your desk. And lastly, but definitely not the absolute last, you just want to look out for any counter offers, addenda, contingency removals, any additional attachments or notes or disclosures that may have come with the contract. So that way you can make sure you have the entire stack and you aren't missing when that ratification date starts and when close of escrow ends. And all of that was within the contract. And if you have any questions, my name is Lillian Hernandez, but you can call me Lily, like the flower, because we are learning and growing together. And this is Transaction Care. Avoid this mistake as a real estate transaction coordinator: not having clear communication or being responsive on time. Now, I would say the longest, anytime you get an email that you can respond, the latest you can respond is like 24 hours, right? You get an email and you respond, say, within those 24 hours. In some instances, that's too late. Unfortunately, that is just the reality of working in real estate. It's very fast paced. It could be very demanding, and it could seem very overwhelming at times. But having a good system in place where you are checking your emails or even your texts or phone calls frequently, I would say at least 3 times a day, as regularly as possible. You don't necessarily have to be in the emails every second of the day, but have at least, at bare minimum, 3 focused and intentional checks of your email and any other incoming messages, even your Instagram, Facebook DMs. You never know where business is going to come from. But I have noticed, or I've experienced, my own downfalls were due to slow response times. For me, in my head, I'm like, all right, I'm on it, and I'll be working on the file, but because I didn't say received or got it, I lost out on a lot of business. And of course, you want to be in alignment with some of these people. Some of their demands are unrealistic, and if they want you to respond to something 10 seconds after they hit the sent button, to me, that's not realistic, but everyone has their own workflow and expectations. So I don't want to say one way is better than the other. But for me, how I've created my boundaries and set my standards and my systems, as long as I'm responding within, I'd say, the hour, we're good to go. Unless it says urgent or emergency, I'm responding ASAP, because I have a list of other priorities and things going on. It's not to say that those emails aren't priority, but oftentimes realtors just want you to say thank you, received, to give them peace of mind. So it doesn't mean that I'm stopping everything to work on this new project. It's just a simple acknowledgement. And that goes a long way in this business, I guarantee it. It's customer service, it's basic business skills, communication. It goes a long way. Just saying thank you, received, working on it. Some realtors will push back and say, when can I have it done? Or they'll say, can I have this done by the end of today or within the hour? And then that's up to you to determine, are you physically, mentally capable of doing it within that time frame? And just know you can always negotiate your time or buy your time back by moving some other things around, especially if it is urgent or an emergency. And if that resonates with you, give me a follow. I provide and demystify the business of real estate one post at a time. Coordinating with agents, and in order to have a harmonious real estate transaction and even business working relationship is so key. And some of those keys are, as I've mentioned in previous posts, are clear communication, taking time out to get to know your realtor and having your realtor get to know you as well, how your working styles, your communication styles, your business hours, letting them know if you're going to be out of the office or if you are going to take some time off to travel, or just you time. You don't necessarily have to travel in order to leave the office. You can just go to the park for a whole day and just have a mental health day. I don't think they have to know every detail of your life, but if it affects your work and your response time and their expectations, I would just at least give them a heads up, like, hey, not feeling well, or hey, I'm going to be taking some personal time tomorrow. But if it is an emergency or urgent, just text or call me. And for the most part, if you're working with people that are in alignment with you, they won't mind at all. And especially if a transaction is going on for 30 to 60 days, things aren't moving as quickly as your presence would be needed, if that makes sense. So in order to work in harmony with whoever it is you're working with, just clear communication, being upfront, and knowing each other. You don't have to know every detail, like I said. It's important to get to know each other and take it from there. And that's just one tip I'd like to offer you all. And give me a follow if you resonate or have any other questions or comments or concerns. I'm more than glad to answer them and guide you through this process. I'm a real estate transaction coordinator, coach, podcast host, and full-time auntie, Beehive member. My name is Lillian Hernandez, aka Lily like the flower, and we are learning and growing together. Give me a follow, hit the comments. I appreciate you, and we'll talk soon.